What the fuck are we doing, man? So, The Strangers, Chapter 2 is the sequel to the absolute banger. I can't even say it with a straight face. So, The Strangers, Chapter 2 is the sequel to the absolute banger that was The Strangers Chapter 1 last year. Just like Chapter 1, this film is also directed by Rennie Harlan and it stars Madeline Petch. After learning that one of their victims, Maya, is still alive, three masked maniacs return to finish the job. With nowhere to run and no one to trust, Maya soon finds herself in a brutal fight for survival against psychopaths, who are more than willing to kill anyone who stands in their way. If you are someone like me that hated Chapter 1, I promise you will despise Chapter 2. I cannot think of a sequel that is more pointless than this one. Chapter 2 is like that one really bad anime filler episode that is a waste of time and makes you wonder how this got greenlit in the first place. So we have The Strangers Chapter 2, that is the sequel to Chapter 1, a film that no one asked for, which is going to lead into a full-on trilogy that also no one asked for. And yet this soon-to-be trilogy is regressing instead of progressing. I won't lie, I feel kind of bad for Madeline Petch. I believe she is a very talented actress, but the problem is this movie does not utilize her talents. She gives a decent performance in this film overall, but nothing to really run home about. She is an entertaining actress, I 1000% agree. But when your character is actively making terrible choices, and the writing overall in the film is terrible, that makes it even harder on the actor. So while I didn't mind her performance, it just wasn't enough to save this movie. Similar to Chapter 1, they clearly put money towards the set pieces and the overall look and feel of this world. And I won't lie, this film has some pretty good camera work. The technical aspects are executed quite well actually. In fact, there is a one-shot scene near the beginning of the film that was done perfectly. But because the tension and the anxiety wasn't fully there for me, it kind of watered down that whole segment for me. Great camera work, especially with that one shot, but I just didn't feel the tension. And that's the biggest problem with this movie. This film lacks any sort of tension and anxiety. In fact, it was just boring. For a movie that is just slightly over 90 minutes, the film just kept going and going and I was ready for it to just wrap up. The first 30 minutes is a game of cat and mouse between Maya and the strangers, and somehow it felt so lifeless and dull. Listen, I love me a good cat and mouse game, but the way this film handles that aspect makes you really wonder, how did the character of Maya survive this long? Here's how I would describe The Strangers Chapter 2. The movie went from an episode of Tom and Jerry to an episode of Survivor to an unnecessary backstory, which I will get into later. Oh, don't worry. This film was the longest 90 minutes of my life. I'm not even joking. One battle after another is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and that film handled its pacing better than this. And then you have the random boar scene in the middle of the movie. Yes, I'm talking about an actual boar. That whole segment was so out of place, I would not be surprised if that was a last-minute decision. That whole scene felt like a poor man's version of the bear attack scene from The Revenant. I don't normally walk out of movies, but after that scene, I was very tempted. The Strangers Chapter 2 just feels so creatively bankrupt. I know Chapter 3 is coming, but given how Chapter 2 ends, it's gonna feel more of like a Chapter 2.5 than a Chapter 3. The way Chapter 2 ends is so anticlimactic, like... It's not even funny. I shouldn't even be laughing at how anticlimactic it is, but guys, words cannot even explain it. And then I guess the movie decided to give us a random backstory of the strangers. Why? Does that not defeat the purpose of the strangers? Like, we're not supposed to know who they are or what's their story? They are masked psychopaths. They are irredeemable monsters. I don't think giving me a backstory is going to make me feel any sort of empathy for them. Am I supposed to feel sorry for the strangers and understand why they are the way they are? If that was the mission, then you failed catastrophically. In the end, guys, somehow, some way, The Strangers Chapter 2 is worse than Chapter 1, and that's saying a lot. It was boring, it was pointless, it felt like a chore to get through, and overall, it brought nothing interesting to the table. I can't even call this a fun, bad movie. It's just bad. So, plugging The Strangers Chapter 2 into the rank system, I am placing this one into the negative zone. And yes, I will be watching Chapter 3 next year when it comes out. Why? Because I love torturing myself. My pain is your entertainment. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much my review for The Strangers Chapter 2. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you guys excited for Chapter 3? Who am I kidding? Y'all not finna watch chapter 3. But whatever you thought, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you all in the next one.